Hello, this is going to be a tutorial on how to submit vapor pressure tests on Northstar. Going forward, we are going to require the vapor pressure test to be submitted on Northstar. If any tests come in on a sundry notice, um, I will more likely email that said operator and request these to be submitted on Northstar. So to get to that, you would go to online forms and then you'd scroll down, or if you didn't have to, you didn't have very limited documents, you just go to upload test results. You'd select your organization, and I'm just gonna select WPX. Vapor pressure tests on Northstar are submitted at the battery level, so you can't select well. There's no option for vapor pressure tests on the well, so you'd have to select the facility component, test type, vapor pressure test. Down here, you have to fill out the description, as you can see by the red asterisk. And here, just put in the battery name and number and type in vapor pressure test. So I'll just illustrate battery name, number, vapor pressure test. Here brings the first step 2 on your form. You already did the form information. This is just who's submitting it. Um, You can add context here if you would like, if you want multiple people to see it in your organization. Um, Obviously, this is a test, so I'm not going to do that. So I'll go to next to your test subject selection. And here is where you would select the battery, whether it's a single well battery, a multi-well battery. You come in here and you filter through to try to find it. If you know the battery name, you can come in here and type in the battery name. Um, for example, I just know this battery because it was find that here. Here's a single well, and then here is a multi-well battery. You can also filter by hitting, if you don't know the name or the facility ID, you can always come and select, um, you got single, multi-well, continuously metered. We can just do multiple well, come down, and it will bring in. Also, just quick note when you're going through here, if you delete something here that you search through, you go through and you just delete, hit enter again, and it will populate the entire list. The entire list again, and then you come in here, select multi-well, and then from here we can just you select any one you want. You got a numerous amounts here to go through, so we can come through here, and I'll just select this Olson, drop it down here, and this is where it's going to be. This vapor pressure test is going to be submitted to. You can't grab multiple CTBs here. You can only grab one at a time. And I'll just show you, for example, it won't let you bring it down. So what's one battery at a time for one form? Um, and so once you select your proper or the right facility, just double check, make sure everything is correct and it's the right one you want to submit to, hit next. And then here is where you have your test details. The only thing that's really required on here on this first on the up here is the actual test date. So we'll just grab today. If you want to, you sure can, fill out this information if you want. If you have any comments, you can put them here. There's also comments down here for each test in um, the drop down here where you actually add your tests. So for this purposes, we're just gonna just do the required information that's required. So then once you put the actual test date in, you come down to here and you go to actions in this grid, add new. Here's where you put your information for your test. Um, I just wanted to let you know here if this truly is a battery that's separate, as far as let's just say this one here only had gas commingled and the oil was completely separate and you had two separate tests. Here you'd fill each one out for each one. The only required ones here is for date, sample taken, test method, the test results. When filling this out, when you select your file number here and you put in the date, sample taken, um, that's the actual date the sample was actually grabbed on location. Up here on the actual test information up here is the actual date that the sample was tested. So these could be the same date, or they could be different, but we need to verify and make sure that, the actual test date could be different than the actual sample date, the date it was taken. Test method, we'll just click the ASTM D6377 method, and then we will type in 11. And you'll notice here, once you click out of the box, it automatically fills in pass determination, the test determination. If you had it over R14.7 and you had 15, it would change it to fail. Over this, we'll just put in 11, pass. So we're going to act like this one here is, each one separate. So we'll just do this one. Oops. Select the other file number, make sure all the information is the same. Well, it wouldn't be the same for the test results, so we'll just put, 12.5. And this didn't fill it out. I don't know why. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Just make sure that this gets filled out. Obviously, if it's not and you hit save, it's not gonna allow you to go through it. And there's your results. Now let's just say this was a battery that had 10 wells to it, or even 6 wells or 5 wells. And you only have one test because all oil is commingled in a single set of tanks. When you come in here to do the tests, the way Northstar is set up is you have to fill out a vapor pressure test for each well. So you'd come in here and add each well like I did for the separate one, but you would add in all of them with basically the same information, the same, date, sample taken, same method. Obviously, there's only one selection. They'd have to be the same test results, but you have to do that for every single well. There is a mechanic that's being looked at to be possibly put into here um, where you have a multi-select option to where you could select multiple file numbers, so that way you only fill this out once. But for right now, that is not available. So if you have a 5-well bulk and test setup where you truly only have one vapor pressure test for those set of 5 wells, you have to fill one out for each one. Are you going to get an error if you only select one and you submit it to me with just the one test? No, you're not going to get an error. But when I go and review that and I see that, and I go back and view the results and I see it's actually on a battery that's, has one test and, has 5 wells, but only wells filled out, I'm going to return it to you and I'm going to state fill one out for each file number. Um, so once you get all this done, we'll just leave everything the same. Come through here, you hit next. And then document upload is a required field. So here you would upload your test results, the page you guys get from the sampler with all the results on it. If you go next here, you're not going to be able to submit the form. You'll get an error. So then you would just hit add new and then upload new document, type, vapor pressure test, wherever the date, we'll just put the same date today. Description, we'll just do it vapor pressure test results. Label it however you want to label it. Browse, find it on your computer. I have a test document here, upload, and then upload it. Go next. And then here is where you would submit it. We've all done this before with other forms. You select acknowledgement, put your title in there, and then submit. So any changes to this form going forward, I will submit. We will send out a release to everyone stating what has changed. Any questions, feel free to email me, contact our Bismarck office and ask for me. As you can see on this demo that you saw, my name is Alan Christensen, so you guys could contact me and I can answer your questions as I can. You may come across some things where you may not find your battery in that first test subject selection grid. If you can't find your battery, keep your tests. Submit all the ones that you have. Keep a list of the ones that you can't find. Send me an email. We'll look into it and find it and see where it's at. There's certain things that could have happened when we converted stuff over from our old database to the new database that we might have to change. So for you guys to be able to find it, once we get that stuff set up, fixed, we will let you know, and I'll send you an email back, and you guys can go ahead and submit the rest of the tests. That's it for this tutorial, and you guys have a great day.